Hello, 4th and 5th grade. Welcome back for our final music video lesson of the school year. And today we're going to do something a little bit different. As a closing lesson, we are just going to read a book. We're going to read a story together. It is called The Remarkable Farkle McBride. And as you can see from the picture, it has something to do with music. We see some music instruments around Farkle McBride. And so we're going to read about Farkle's experience with some of the instruments and what happens to him. I'm going to come a little bit closer so that you can see the pages clearly. This, by the way, is by John Lithgow, who is a pretty famous actor, actually, but he has written some children's books. And I love the artwork in this. It's a little bit realistic, but also a little bit silly. Kind of like a caricature. You know what a caricature is? It's like a drawing where someone makes things look a little bit over the top, a little bit extreme. Like, for example, the size of his head and the expression on his face. And it says, "Oh, pity the prodigy, Farkle McBride. No matter what instrument poor Farkle tried, whether strumming or blowing or drumming or bowing, his musical passions were unsatisfied." When Farkle McBride was a 3-year-old tyke, all freckly, bony, and thin, he astonished his friends and his family alike by playing superb violin. Okay, so at 3 years old, he was playing superb violin. He went reedily, deedly, with all the strings at his side. Reedily, deedly, the remarkable Farkle McBride. There he is playing with adults in an orchestra. Uh-oh. But when he was 4, Farkle played it no more. In spite of his parents' beseeching, he shattered the records he used to adore. He smashed up his resin, ripped up every score. He threw fiddle and bow to the living room floor, and he shouted, "Enough of your screeching!" Wow, he's a little dramatic. But he was tired of the violin. So, when Farkle was 5, his melodical gift once again bore rhapsodical fruit. The woodwinds inspired his spirits to lift, and he rapidly mastered the flute. The flute is part of the woodwind family. Even though flutes nowadays are made of metal, originally they were made of wood. He went roodily, toodly, too, with all of the winds at his side. Roodily, toodly, too, the remarkable Farkle McBride. Oh boy. Oh, I would not be happy if my child threw their instrument in the pond. But at 6, Farkle flung his flute into the lake, notwithstanding its lyrical trill. He stamped on the dock till you'd think it would break. "That's it," he exclaimed, "I've had all I can take. That tootling gives me a brutal headache. It's so wimpy and whiny and shrill." Oh my. He got tired of the flute. So, something different. When Farkle was 7, a different sound rekindled his musical flame. He became the most expert trombonist around, and the boulevards buzzed with his name. So he picks up the trombone, which is part of the brass family. Brass is a type of metal. He went vroompity-toompity-toompity-doom, with all the brass at his side. Vroompity-doompity-doompity-doom, the remarkable Farkle McBride. But at 8 he declared, to his parents' despair, and as everyone else might have guessed, I can't stand the trombone with its blat and its blare. That racket is more than my eardrums can bear. So return it or throw it away. I don't care. I despise it, just like all the rest. At least he's trying more. When Farkle was 9, both his father and mum were bursting with pride and affection. For Farkle learned xylophone, cymbal, and drum, the entire percussionist section. Yes, as we know by now, percussion is the drum family, but it's also any type of instrument that you can hit, tap, or shake. Here he's playing the giant timpani drums. He went boom, bash, clang-a-ma-clash, and the clamor that he could provide. Tingly, bing-bong, bumpity-crash, the remarkable Farkle McBride. He's good at music, but nothing's keeping him happy. But soon he fell prey to his usual gloom. Look at that picture. Despite all the praise and the flattery. First a sigh, then a sulk, then a frown, then a fume, then an ear-splitting tantrum that emptied the room. I can't take it, he bellowed, the crash and the boom, and the clang and the bang of the battery. Battery's another term for the percussion. Poor Farkle at 10, howsoever renowned, reached the end of his musical tether. But then he discovered his favorite sound, musicians all playing together. Okay, so he has an idea. It happened like this. The conductor caught cold on the day of a major recital. You've got to replace him, young Farkle was told. Your cooperation is vital. So he took the baton and he gave the downbeat, and kaboom, the foundations were shaken by glorious music, bombastic and sweet, that filled up the hall and spilled into the street. Music that brought the whole crowd to its feet from the instruments he had forsaken. They went reedily, roodily, vroom-petty-bang. Bravo, all the spectators cried. Deedly, doodly, doom-petty-clang. The remarkable Farkle McBride. Since that sparkling night, Maestro Farkle McBride conducts all the instruments he ever tried. His happy heart sings to brass, drum, winds, and strings, and remarkable Farkles at last satisfied. We have a big picture of the orchestra. There's Farkle in the middle as the conductor. So a bit of a silly story, and I don't recommend that anybody throw tantrums about instruments that you might play, but it is also a story about how there's some place in music for everybody, right? So it took Farkle a long time to find what satisfied him in music, but he stuck with it and he found his place. He was a conductor. So with that, I'm going to leave you guys for the summer. Have a great few months until I see you again in the fall. I'm excited to get back and do some of this stuff in person and get back to our music lessons. But we have a nice summer to enjoy before then, and and do that. I wish you a very happy summer. Go on some adventures, make some music, have some fun, spend time with your family, and don't forget about music. If you play an instrument, keep practicing over the summer. Listen to some songs and figure out how to play them. Create your own songs. Improvise a little bit. Remember, improvise means just make up whatever you would like, and make a song out of it. So have some fun. Keep practicing. I'll see you in the fall. Bye bye.